Football careers can be notoriously short. That is, if you're not superstars like Tom Brady or Adam Vinatieri. Some players hardly have the opportunity to play in the professional league, and sure, some players transition into fairly normal life, and some trade in their pigskins for microphones by becoming commentators or analysts on TV. But others find thriving careers in front of the lights and cameras as actors. There's always going to be a place in film and TV for large, muscular guys like The Rock for action roles and such. So at least there is some sort of job security that some lucky former stars of the field end up stumbling upon following their careers as quarterbacks and offensive linemen. We did a little investigating and compiled a list of some of those multi-talented men who managed to take the tactics they learned on the field and from doing TV commercials and successfully made the leap from the fan-packed stadiums to the TV screen. Facts First presents NFL stars who became famous television actors. Before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you never have to miss another one of our fantastically facts-filled videos. Ed Marinaro. Following the relocation of two of the country's most prestigious beer distributors from Milwaukee to Burbank, California, network execs and producers of the hit sitcom Laverne and Shirley tried to write in a very special love interest for Laverne. Ed Marinaro played the role of Sonny St. Jacques, a professional stuntman that had the habit of showing off his stacked upper body. He had a solid career in the NFL as a running back. He played with the New York Jets, Seattle Seahawks, and the Minnesota Vikings, with whom he was able to play in 2 Super Bowls. He was also the runner-up to Pat Sullivan for the Heisman Trophy in 1971. He only stuck around with Laverne and Shirley for a season before taking a major role on Hill Street Blues. Following that, he starred in shows like Falcon Crest and the football-themed comedy Blue Mountain State. Fred Dryer. After having a stellar career in the NFL that spanned 13 years, 176 games, and recording 104 sacks with the New York Giants and the Los Angeles Rams, and remarkably being the only player in NFL history to ever score 2 safeties in one game, he traded in his shoulder pads for a life on screen. He might be best known for his work starring in the series Hunter as renegade cop Sergeant Rick Hunter, but he also appeared in episodes of Chips, Cheers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and NCIS, and starred in the series Land's End. Today he owns his own production company in LA called Fred Dryer Productions. Speaking of production, the best way for you to show our channel a little support so we can keep producing videos like this one is by giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. It only takes a second, so why not show us you care? Timothy Brown. This former Colts running back and kick returner managed to get his foot into the door of show business before he had even finished his career in the NFL. In 1967, when he was finishing up his final season with the Eagles, he appeared in the Season 3 premiere of The Wild Wild West. Get this, his character's name was Clint Cartwheel. What a name. He managed to land quite a few guest appearances on shows like Adam 12 and The Mary Tyler Moore Show before scoring a recurring role on MASH as Dr. Oliver Harmon Spearchucker Jones, but was cut from the show after the first season when producers discovered there were no African-American surgeons serving in Korea during the war. He went on to do several films like Nashville in 1975, Black Heat in 1976, and Midnight Ride in 1990. Fred Williamson. Williamson had played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Oakland Raiders, and Kansas City Chiefs as a defensive back before finding some moderate success on screen. He got his start doing blaxploitation films like Black Caesar and Hell Up in Harlem. Notable also was one of his earlier television credits in Star Trek as Anka in the episode The Cloudminders. Following these roles, he would go on to have 58 acting credits in a career that showed him as a proficient actor, producer, and writer. That career of his would extend into the 21st century, with action films being his bread and butter. Most recently, he's appeared on 10 episodes of the Travel Channel series Famously Afraid that details well-known people's encounters and fears of the paranormal. Alex Karras. This 4-time Pro Bowl player with the Detroit Lions made his acting debut on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Daniel Boone. He'd go on to have roles in Blazing Saddles as Mongo, MASH as Lyle, A Marine Saved by Hawkeye, and Odd Couple as Jake Metcalf. But most people know him as George Papadopoulos, the loving father figure in Webster. RoShaun Greer. Another TV success story that came from the Giants and the Rams was this defensive tackle. His cousin, Pam Greer, helped him get his foot into the door of the acting world, and he started out on screen with small parts on The Man from U.N.C.L.E., I Dream of Jeannie, and The Wild Wild West. He then secured a regular role in Daniel Boone as Gabe Cooper in the show's 6th season, and then linked up with Danny Thomas as a pianist in the sequel series Make Room for Granddaddy. It seems like playing for LA or New York increases your chances of striking it big in showbiz. The next player continues to hold true to that pattern. Merlin Olsen. He was a defensive tackle worth shaking in your boots about before he became known as having a huge heart on frontier shows like Little House on the Prairie. In that series, he played a farmer by the name of Jonathan Garvey. In one humorous scene, John's son exclaims, "My pa doesn't know anything about football." Right, kid? Sure he doesn't. Olsen would go on to play the lead role in Michael Landon's Western offering, Father Murphy, where he came to the aid of orphans while impersonating a priest. Up next is a man who needs very little introduction. Dick Butkus. USA Today once described Butkus as the gold standard by which all other middle linebackers are measured. He certainly made a name for himself in his tenure with the Chicago Bears. Throughout his career that spanned from 1965 to 1973, seeing 119 games, he was invited to 8 Pro Bowls, named first-team All-Pro 5 times, and was deemed the NFL Defensive Player of the Year twice. He was a fearsome tackler and played with relentless tenacity. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest football players to ever step onto the turf. He got his introduction to television in 1974 on the civil services drama Emergency, and then he went on to make appearances in shows like The Rockford Files, Wonder Woman, Taxi, and Fantasy Island. He finally got a chance to have a lead role in the 80s as Ski Butkowski on Blue Thunder, and then later he would play the lead in Half Nelson alongside another NFL player that we're about to hone in on. Bubba Smith. After playing for the Raiders, Colts, and Oilers, Bubba is probably best known for his recurring role in the Police Academy films. But other than those popular movies, as we already mentioned, he also worked alongside Dick Butkus on Blue Thunder and Half Nelson. Following those shows, he appeared in a sitcom about a 24-hour convenience store called Open All Night, but it was canceled after only 1 season. You may have also seen him on an episode of Wonder Woman as the character Rojak. Tim Russovich. Linebacker for the Eagles, Chargers, and Oilers, Tim's career in the NFL would see him on the field from 1968 to 76. He made his first TV appearance in the ABC sitcom The San Pedro Beach Bums in 1977. Then the following year found a guest appearance in Charlie's Angels. Because of his build and stature, he was typecast as the Muscle. He played a bodyguard on Soap and then returned to Charlie's Angels to play a thug-like villain. Following those bits, he played yet another thug and Beast Man on Wonder Woman. His acting career would extend through the 70s and 80s with guest appearances on The A-Team, The Love Boat, and even Alf. Fun facts, Tim's brother is actor Rick Russovich, and in college, Tim roomed with Tom Selleck, another professional athlete who would make a name for himself on TV after their basketball career came to a close. Well, yet again, we've come to the end of another fascinating video. It's great to see how all these massively talented athletes were able to keep their careers afloat, even after departing from the NFL. There are only so many years you can play professionally before you either run out of steam or your body gives out on you. These men were able to turn their established images on the field into celebrated careers on the screen. Now it's time to hear from you. What would you rather be, a pro football player or a famous actor on TV? Let us know what you think in the comments section. And before you go, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications while you're at it so you never have to miss another one of our videos.